Everyone, and welcome back to the last week of the PPL. This is against Slyroh in the Pittsburgh Pyroar, and I'm not gonna lie, guys. This week we're facing relegation. Slyroh stands in the way of us standing in D1, and trust me, he's overjoyed that he has the chance to relegate us. He's told me time and time again, I can't wait to relegate you. I can't wait to see you in D2. You can help me team build next season. Well, Slyroh, I'm gonna let you know here that if I'm gonna go down, I'm gonna make damn sure that you work for it. So, we have the team here. He's got the Hitmontop right round from last season. Of course, he likes to copy us. He takes all the mons, takes good inspiration from us. Takes Roserade, takes Lantern, which I used more effectively than he did, I believe. And I have Rotom, so the Lantern's kind of better than Rotom, But he's got Arcanine, which he sniped for me, which would have been amazing for my Fire, Water, Grass core, and might have even made my team a lot better in the beginning. But no, Slyroh saw me getting it, but wanted it. Now he's got Bronzong. I don't really care much about Bronzong. I've got Rotom Heath. I've got Mega Medicham, which can, two-shot it with High Jump Kick. Bisharp and Greninja. My biggest problem is Tornadus Therian. Rotom and Milotic are pretty much my only swap-ins for that thing. And if he lands Hurricanes every single time, I'm absolutely screwed. But let's get this battle started. Alright, so Slyroh is issuing a challenge. Now he's going to send out his Tornadus Therian, Fujin. I'm going to send out Bisharp. Not very good matchup for me because he could have Focus Blast or Heat Wave. So I decide I'm going to straight up swap out his I'm going to swap out into my Rotom, my best swap in for this thing. As he goes for the U-turn, a good play on his part. He's going to get some tiny bit of damage off. It was like 8 damage off on this. But that's fine because Pain Split is a thing. And now he's going to go into Kim Jong-un, his Lantern, which completely walls me. And I'm going to have to go into my swap in for this, which basically my Gardevoir would Trace at this point, as I think he predicts it and just straight up goes for the Scald because I can't do much regardless of what happens. So I'm going to Trace his Volt Absorb, and he's going to see that I am Trace as he goes for the Scald. He luckily does not get a burn, which is nice because I don't have Heal Bell on this thing. And he's going to straight up swap out and go into his Tornadus as I go for the Shadow Ball, predicting the Bronzong swap in. And this is where I realized that he is definitely a Solvest because he would have not taken that Shadow Ball as well. So I'm going to have to swap out, and I got to go into my Milotic because maybe he's predicting the Rotom, but he does just straight up go for the Overheat. I can take this fairly well, but I get confused in this, and I basically have to swap out, as he can probably just go for a U-turn, because I can't risk the confusion if he goes for another Hurricane and goes for... Oh, he straight up swaps out into Nando, as I swap out into, I believe, my Gardevoir? I believe I swap out into my Gardevoir. Now I go into Rotom, which is a decent matchup for me, but he does outspeed me and goes for the Sleep Powder. He hits it, which is unfortunate. Don't have anything to take up a Sleep Powder, which is kind of shitty because I can't do much. Yeah, great for me, Sleep Powder. So now he can straight up go into his Kim Jong-un. I can't do anything. I have to swap out. I expected him to go for like a Hidden Power Water with Technician or something. As I go into Bisharp, still not a great matchup for me. I can't really do much. I should have straight up knocked off, but he would have gone for the Scald. As I go straight into Tumbler again. He knows I'm going to go into Tumbler, but it's my best swap in because I'm still specially defensive for this thing. And so if he does go for the Volt Switch, I can handle that. And as he predicts that, he goes into his Eddie Gordo. I guess he just predicted me to go into something else. And he has to swap out here as he goes into the Bronzong. And I predict that again, and I'm able to just get the Shadow Ball off and do major damage because he is not especially defensive. There's a chance for me to 2-hit KO. I'm just going to stay in, and I believe I go for the believe I go for the Shadow Ball again. It's gonna do a decent amount to this thing as he brings an Arcanine, which I don't know if it's defensive or not. It might be physically defensive for the Mega Medicham, but as I see that he gets the special defense drop, I need to swap out here because I can't kill this thing. At least I need Gardevoir. I need Gardevoir at this form. Not only for the Rotom, but for the Bronzong and Roserade as well, if I can outspeed it. So I go into my Rotom Heat, predicting either Flare Blitz or Wild Charge. And as he goes for the Will-O-Wisp, which is decent for me, I stay in. I believe I go for the T-Wave. I'm pretty sure I went for the T-Wave. Yeah, I went for the T-Wave. I wanted to stay in. I should have gone for Toxic Tear. It was a bad play on my part. I predicted him to double out. As he goes for the Scald, he gets that Volt and does major damage. I should have swapped out here and gone into Gardevoir, but I didn't know what to do. I want to get a Toxic off on this thing because all I've seen is Scald from this thing. I don't know if he has Heal Bell or not, and I need to get damage off on this thing. And the only thing Rotom can do at this point is go for Toxic. I live one more. There's no reason for me to stay. There's no reason for me to stay in. I can still get HP back with, because I have T-Wave, Toxic, Volt Switch, and, I have Wish on Gardevoir. So I can pass a Wish into Rotom, which is perfect for me, because I would love that. I get a Volt Absorb off as he goes for the Heal Bell, which is unfortunate because now that toxic damage isn't going to rack up on this thing, and everything else that I've potentially poisoned or paralyzed on this team would have been fixed. So that's not good for me. That's definitely not good for me. As he swaps out, he goes into, I believe, his Tornadus again. As I go for the Wish, I wanted to pass it into Rotom, but I decided at this point it's probably better just for me to swap it into my Milotic, because Milotic can take a hit from this thing and do a decent amount of damage. So as he goes for the Sludge Bomb, predicting him to stay in, I get the Wish back, and that's perfect. Leftovers are going to bring me back up to almost full HP. This is a long battle, by the way. This lasted almost at buzzer. As he goes for the U-turn, I go for the, I believe it's the Icy Wind. I go for the Icy Wind here. As he goes into Mediton, so he's going to be able to get his Stealth Rocks up. If I had gone for Scald and he got a burn, it would have been a little bit better. It might have been my better play because I knew he was going to swap out, and if I had burned the Lantern, that could have been nice. But now he's going to be able to get his Stealth Rocks up, which is unfortunate. I'm not going to Rotom thinking I can, take out this thing with Overheat. I was basically thinking, oh, it's my last swap in anyways. I need to get some HP back. I need to make sure Rotom is around to, get Wish Pass Wish Pass into. As I go for the Overheat, takes out the Mediton, the Bronzong. And pretty much at this point, I'm just like, okay, so do I risk the Wish Pass? Because I can live one more swap in. If I get leftovers off, I can live one more swap in with the Stealth Rocks up. And then I'm just like, okay, he brings it anyways. He goes for Sludge Bomb, it's able to kill me. He didn't want to risk the miss, he didn't want to go for U-turn. I go into Slippy Toad V for Ninja. I'm gonna straight up go for the U-turn as I believe he goes into his Lantern here. Bit unfortunate for me, this Lantern turned out to be more of a problem than I thought. It might have been more beneficial for us to bring in the Vileplume. That way we could have taken, at least a Sleep Powder from the Roserade. That would have been nice. As I U-turn, go into Mega Medicham, which is finally hitting the field after forever. So I'm going to have to stay in, go for I'm obviously able to take this thing out with a high jump kick. I'm going to Mega Evolve and go for the high jump kick because he doesn't have much to take it because Bronzong is dead already. Tornadus is around. I mean, he could have gone into him on top, but it's not too much of a big deal. And then him on top. So I Mega Evolve, and look how much damage this does. The high jump kick at -1 special attack or -2, whatever. It still does not, and that is a defensive argument. That does a shit ton of damage. Like, I can pretty much just stay in and go for another. But I didn't want to risk him being like some crazy Custap Berry bullshit with Will-O-Wisp. But I saw that he had leftovers, so I don't know why I made that play in the first place. I could have stayed in and just taken this thing out, and then he probably would have brought in Tornadus. He knows that he can swap into his Lantern here. He knows that. He knows he can also swap into Roserade, which is going to take a hit, which he does do. Swaps into Roserade. I'm thinking, what can take this hit the best? Do I sack the Rotom? Or do I, stay in and just kind of take some damage? I get a crit there. Doesn't matter much because this thing is eating it. And with that damage, I know it's not especially defensive. I know it's like max speed. It's offensive in some way. I go into Gardevoir, basically saying, hey, I hate you a lot, as he pretty much puts me to sleep. I wanted to keep Bisharp around because it could do a lot more than anything. Unfortunately, it didn't have Sucker Punch, and I didn't want Bisharp to go to sleep. It was maybe a better swap in, but I'd rather it not be asleep. So now I swap into Bisharp, thinking, oh, I'm free to swap in, he's going to go for a Sludge Bomb. In which case, he doesn't go for a Sludge Bomb. He goes for a Bullet Seed. And that's right, he's max physically offensive. And look how much this Bullet Seed does to a resisted Bisharp. And he gets, of course he gets all 5 hits too, by the way. He got a lot of good luck in this match. It was like fate that they wanted me to win. So now I make the prediction to him swap out into Hitmontop. I go for the Psycho Cut. It would have been a safe play regardless of what I was doing. So I go for the Psycho Cut. I get a crit there. It doesn't matter because I would have been able to hit KO him anyways without the crit because it's a minimum of 56. He goes with Mach Punch, and here comes my Chople Berry. The situation that I had in mind did come into play here, which is perfect for me because I'm able to take out this Hitmontop, which wasn't a giant problem to me, but it did well enough for me to be able to take it out. So now he's gonna straight up bring in this Tornadus, and unfortunately I don't have Sucker Punch. I have Knockoff, Psycho Cut, and Iron Head. And so if I had gone for a Sucker Punch, I would have gotten a decent amount of damage on this thing, but he could have gotten his Regenerator to bring it back. Because he gets like 25% fucking Regenerator, or 1/8, whatever it is. He gets some leftovers back in return, and I bring in my Mega Medicham, which I know I don't have to risk the high jump kick here. I can straight up go for the Zen Headbutt, and it will take this thing out. I go for the Zen Headbutt. I expected him to go for Protect here, but he doesn't, and I just take it out with the Zen Headbutt, which is perfect for me. Now he's gonna straight up bring in his, I'm saying straight up, now he brings up Tornadus, and I pretty much have to swap out. I can't do anything anymore. Sacking Gardevoir because I can't do much with this thing anymore. It's asleep. Oh, and I'm doing a little badly here. I got Regenerator, which maybe if he goes for a U-turn, I will be able to swap out the but no, he goes for the Hurricane, and he hits it again, and gets a crit. I might have been able to live that if I was max special defense. So I might have been able to live that if he didn't crit, but it wouldn't have mattered. Now he goes for the U-turn here, and he's going to be able to just go into his Lantern because he has Lantern, Tornadus, and Roserade left. He brings in Lantern, which is better. Here's where I make a bad play. I should have just gone into my Medicham here, which would have been able to take a Thunderbolt from this thing. I should have gone into Mega Medicham to be able to take a Thunderbolt here. I would have been able to scare it out, and he would have had to swap into something to be able to take it. He would have either let the Lantern die, and I would have had my Lotic at more HP than usual, so I would have been able to play around with swap-ins with this thing. And he also gets a Paralyze here, so I can't recover this thing. So that's unfortunate. If I had just gone into Mega Medicham, killed this thing a lot earlier, my Lotic would have been able to take a Hurricane from the Tornadus, get a nice beam off, do a little bit of damage, which would have mattered a little bit later. I live on 1 HP, pretty much stall fest here. It doesn't really change anything because he's going to be able to take me out with with the next Thunderbolt anyways. There's not really a reason for this whole entire course of turns here. It's not gonna matter. Cause yeah, look, he's gonna kill me. I'm gonna go for an Ice Beam. Could have maybe gone for a Scald. It would have done a little bit more damage, and maybe gotten a burn, which could have been forced to heal Bell off, or I could have played around for it. But it doesn't really change anything. This outcome of the game is kind of 50-50 at this point. He goes for another Thunderbolt as Milo pretty much dies for no reason. I pretty much just let it die for no reason. There was no reason for me to do that at all. Here I'm going to bring in Mega Meta Channel because it's going to be able to take this thing out with a high jump kick. And Slyroh's just going to let it die with a high jump kick. So go for the high jump kick. Takes out the Lantern. And as he's going to bring in his Tornadus, I just have Mega Meta Champ and Greninja left. He's going to go for the Hurricane, taking out. He has enough speed to outspeed Mega Meta Champ. And I just have Greninja. And he has... if I had Ice Beam, it would have lowered the differential here. It would have mattered a little bit. But, you know, in the end, it doesn't even matter. This Ice Beam isn't going to be enough to 2-hit KO. And even as he goes for the U-turn and gets the generator off, he didn't want to risk the Hurricane miss in case that happened, but it doesn't even matter. Like, he could have taken at least 2 hits there. So unfortunately, even the Ice Beam on this Roserade, because I'm not Protean and I'm not Choice Specs and Choice Scarf, isn't able to take out this Roserade. So he is just able to take me out with the Bullet Seed. And that's a 2-0 loss for us. And just letting you guys know, it is confirmed relegation. I am in, I think, last place. So with that, I want to thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next season in D2.